The oncologist's words echoed in my head as I sat in my parents' living room, watching them flip through wedding venue brochures. Stage IIIA. Aggressive treatment required. We need to start immediately. The Ritz-Carlton in Maui has an opening. My mother squealed, holding up a glossy photo of a beachfront paradise. Marcus, wouldn't that be perfect for your wedding? My brother grinned, his fiancée Bethany practically bouncing beside him. It's $150,000 just for the venue, but you only get married once, right? I cleared my throat. About my treatment. Oh, Evangeline, not now. Dad waved me off, calculator in hand. We're trying to figure out the wedding budget. Your thing can wait. My thing. Terminal cancer. The thing that would kill me in 8 months without treatment. The insurance won't cover the experimental therapy, I said louder. Dr. Morrison says it's my best shot, but it's $200,000 out of pocket. The room went quiet. Mom set down the brochure, and for a moment, I thought they'd heard me. Actually heard me. 200,000. Dad's voice was strained. I know it's a lot, but Grandma's trust is for family emergencies, he finished. This is an emergency, Dad. I have cancer. Mom and Dad exchanged looks. Marcus shifted uncomfortably while Bethany suddenly found her manicure fascinating. Honey, Mom started, using her kindergarten teacher voice, you're young. You're strong. There must be other treatments, less expensive ones. The standard chemo has a 15% success rate for my type. The experimental therapy is 70%. Those are just numbers, Dad said. Doctors always make things sound worse than they are. Remember when Marcus broke his leg? They said he'd never play football again, and look at him now. Marcus hadn't played football since high school, but pointing that out would derail the conversation. He only gets married once, Mom said, picking up the brochure again, and Bethany's family has connections. Important people will be at this wedding. It could open doors for Marcus's business. Marcus's business. His third failed startup, currently hemorrhaging money while he played entrepreneur on Instagram. I might only live once, I said quietly. The silence stretched until Bethany broke it. Maybe we could scale back the guest list. Instead of 300, we could do 250. Mom gasped like she'd suggested serving tap water. We can't uninvite people. What would they think? That their daughter's life is worth more than shrimp towers, I suggested. Don't be dramatic, Dad said. You'll be fine. You always are. Remember when you had appendicitis? You drove yourself to the hospital. Because none of them would leave Marcus's college graduation party. I'd nearly died from sepsis, but sure, I was always fine. I left that night with their promises to think about it and explore options. 2 weeks later, I found out they'd already made their choice when the bank called about unusual activity on the trust account I was beneficiary of, but couldn't access until I turned 30, or unless the trustees, my parents, released funds for medical emergency. We're showing a complete withdrawal, the banker said. $200,000 transferred yesterday. My hands went numb. Where did it go? I'm not at liberty to, but it appears to be several large payments to vendors in Hawaii. I drove to my parents' house in a rage that made the cancer seem like a minor inconvenience. They were having Sunday dinner, the whole family around the table like a Norman Rockwell painting if Norman Rockwell painted Betrayal. You took the money. Mom set down her fork. Now, Evangeline. You took my treatment money for his wedding. It's not your money, Dad said firmly. It's the family trust. For family needs. I'm dying. You're being dramatic, Marcus finally spoke. Lots of people beat cancer without expensive treatments. My friend's mom did. Your friend's mom had skin cancer. I have aggressive adenocarcinoma. See, you always have to be special, he muttered. I laughed, actually laughed because the alternative was screaming. Yes, Marcus, I chose to get special cancer to upstage your wedding. We've made our decision, Dad said, his CEO voice in full effect. The wedding is important for this family's future. Your treatment. We'll find another way. What other way? Fundraisers. Go fund them. The church will help. The church where they'd be showing off Marcus's expensive wedding in 6 months. Right. I looked at each of them, my parents, who'd given Marcus everything from cars to failed business funding. Bethany, already planning her princess day on my survival funds. And Marcus, my baby brother, who I tutored through school, supported through every failure, and who now couldn't meet my eyes. I hope it's a beautiful wedding, I said quietly. I hope the pictures are perfect and the food is delicious and everyone talks about it for years. Mom smiled, relieved. You'll be my maid of honor, right, Evie? Bethany asked. I'll be dead, I said flatly. But I'm sure the photos will be lovely without me. I left to the sound of Mom calling me selfish. The next months were hell. Not just the cancer. The betrayal metastasized faster than any tumor. I moved into a studio apartment, sold everything I owned, started a GoFundMe that raised $12,000. Friends helped. Strangers helped. My family shared Marcus's wedding registry instead. I did chemo. The standard kind, the kind with the 15% success rate. I did it alone, driving myself to treatments, cleaning my own vomit, watching my hair fall out in clumps while Marcus posted about cake tastings. I worked until I couldn't, then worked from bed until that became impossible too. The wedding approached like a deadline. Literally, Dr. Morrison gave me 6 to 8 months without the experimental treatment. The wedding was in 6. A cousin let slip that it had ballooned to a $300,000 affair. Not just the venue but flying in flowers from Thailand, a 15-piece band, custom everything. They'd spent my life on napkin rings and orchids. I was too sick to be angry anymore. Too tired to hate. I focused on breathing, on making it another day, on the 15% chance that poison would kill the cancer before it killed me. Then something strange happened. I didn't die. Not immediately, not on schedule. The chemo worked, not perfectly, not completely, but enough. The tumors shrank, not gone, but contained. I was that 15%. I found out alone in a sterile room, my oncologist cautiously optimistic. You're not cured, she warned. But you're stable. With maintenance treatment, you could have years, maybe decades. Years. I'd resigned myself to months, and now I had years. The wedding was 2 weeks away. I hadn't spoken to my family in months, but they'd sent an invitation. Gold embossed, probably $50 each. Marcus and Bethany request the honor of your presence. I wasn't going to go. Then I saw the gift registry, still active, still being fulfilled. The entitlement of it, asking for more when they'd already taken everything, flipped a switch in my brain. I've RSVP'd yes. The universe has a sense of humor. 2 days before the wedding, a documentary filmmaker who'd been following several cancer patients called. My story, the family betrayal, the 15% survival, the wedding, had captivated her. Would I be willing to let her film the wedding? Discreetly, of course. How discreet are we talking? Hidden cameras. You wear a wire. We get your family's reactions to seeing you alive. I agreed. Spite is excellent motivation for living. The wedding day dawned perfect because of course it did. $200,000 bought good weather. I gained back some weight, bought a wig that looked like my old hair, covered the remaining gauntness with good makeup. In my coral bridesmaid dress, Bethany had never officially uninvited me. I looked almost normal. The documentary crew was already in place, posing as regular videographers. I waited until the cocktail hour to make my entrance. The Ritz-Carlton had outdone itself. My deaf funds had purchased paradise. I grabbed a champagne flute. I couldn't drink it, but the prop helped and walked into the ballroom. Mom saw me first. Her face went through a journey: shock, joy, confusion, fear. Evangeline? You're here. Surprise, I said mildly. I lived. The room shifted as word spread. The dying daughter, the family tragedy that had cast such a shadow over the happy couple, was here. Walking. Talking. Decidedly not dead. Dad approached cautiously. You look good. Considering I'm supposed to be dead? Yes, I suppose I do. Don't be morbid, he chided automatically. This is your brother's day. Of course. How much did this day cost again? His jaw tightened. That's not appropriate. Neither is stealing someone's treatment money, but here we are. Marcus appeared, Bethany clinging to his arm. Evie, you made it? In multiple senses, I agreed. Beautiful wedding. Worth every penny of the $300,000, I'm sure. Bethany's smile froze. They knew I knew the real number. The photographer wants family photos, Marcus said, trying to move past the awkwardness. Perfect. I love family photos. We posed on the beach, my dying funds sparkling in every detail. The imported flowers, the designer dress, the champagne that cost more per bottle than my chemo copays. The photographer captured it all, including the documentary crew's hidden cameras recording every interaction. How? Mom whispered between shots. The doctor said that I had a 15% chance with standard treatment. Guess I'm lucky. But the experimental therapy would have given me 70% odds. But hey, Marcus only gets married once, right? During the reception, I gave a toast. The microphone felt heavy in my hands, but my voice was steady. To Marcus and Bethany, I began, raising my water glass. May your marriage be as strong as my will to live. Nervous laughter. 6 months ago, when this wedding was being planned, I was given 6 to 8 months to live. The experimental treatment that could have saved me cost exactly what this beautiful wedding cost. But as Dad said, priorities had to be set. The room was silent now. The documentary cameras captured every shifted glance, every uncomfortable fidget. I stand here today not because of family support, but in spite of family choices. I'm alive because of friends, strangers, and a 15% chance that somehow worked. So here's to Marcus and Bethany. May you have better odds in marriage than I had in treatment, and may you never have to choose between your life and someone else's party. I set down the microphone and walked out, leaving 300 guests in stunned silence. The documentary aired 8 months later. The Price of Life, A Family's Choice, went viral before it even hit streaming platforms. My family tried to sue to stop it, but truth is an absolute defense. Their own words, captured at the wedding, damn them. Mom, we thought she was being dramatic. Dad, the wedding was an investment in our future. Marcus, she always has to make everything about her. The backlash was swift and brutal. Marcus's business, the one the wedding was supposed to help, folded within weeks. Bethany left him when the hate mail started arriving at her job. Mom was asked to resign from 3 charity boards. Dad's country club membership was quietly revoked. They tried to reconcile, of course. Showed up at my apartment with tears and apologies and claims of misunderstanding. I didn't let them in. You made a choice, I said through the door. You chose a party over my life. Now live with it. We're family, Mom sobbed. No, family shows up for chemo. Family doesn't steal your treatment money. Family doesn't tell you you're being dramatic about dying. Your relatives. There's a difference. I'm still not cured. I never will be. The cancer is managed, not gone, and I'll spend my life in treatment, wondering if that 70% chance could have meant actual cure instead of constant vigilance. But I'm alive. Spite, it turns out, is excellent medicine. The settlement from the documentary, plus the GoFundMe that exploded after it aired, has covered my ongoing treatment. I speak at medical ethics conferences now about patient advocacy and family dynamics in healthcare decisions. I show the wedding photos, $300,000 in flowers and fancy while I was dying, and ask healthcare providers to look closer at their patients' support systems. Marcus sent a letter last month. He's working construction now, living in a studio apartment like the one I almost died in. He wrote about understanding loss now, about Bethany leaving, about the life he built on my bones crumbling. I didn't write back, but I did send him a photo from his wedding day. The family shot on the beach, all of us smiling in the Hawaiian sunset my life had purchased. On the back, I wrote, "Beautiful wedding. Worth every penny of someone else's life. Frame this, it cost me everything and gave you nothing." Because that's what happens when you spend someone's future on your present. Eventually the bill comes due, and I'm still here to collect.